Hey Fab Fam, welcome to my kitchen. Yes, today we're doing something new because I thought, why not try something else? I love to work out and I love to film these stretching and workout videos for you, but I also love to cook and bake. Every time I'm stressed out, you can find me in the kitchen, like trying out new recipes, and I mostly turn to Pinterest for inspiration. I don't know, Pinterest is just my favorite platform when it comes to recipe inspo. And everything I find, I always take and try to make a more nutritious version out of it. So substituting certain ingredients for, like, in my opinion, healthier versions for them. So instead of using white flour, I will use oat flour, and I also try to kind of experiment with different flours. So yeah, just recently I found this banana flour, so we're gonna try out this today. But there's so many options out there. I also experiment with buckwheat flour. So I experiment with buckwheat flour. I tried sweet potato flour, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. And the same goes with like all the other ingredients like butter, even oil. I don't like to use too much oil in my baked goods. And yeah, also when it comes to pizza or any recipe I like, I try to take it and then, you know, use other ingredients. And I thought it would be fun if I take you along on the journey trying out these recipes. Sometimes they fail, but most of the time they turn out really, really good, and that's when they make it up on the blog so that you guys can try them. As I said in the beginning, I love to turn to Pinterest, but sometimes crazy ideas also come to my head, and it's so funny because this mostly happens right after I wake up. I don't know, I'm just the most creative right after I wake up. And that's how it happened with today's recipe, because actually that happened on a morning run. See, I'm also really creative on my morning runs. But here, like, elderflower is blooming, and I firstly thought about turning it into elderflower syrup. But then I realized I need, like, I don't know, crazy amounts of elderflower, and I didn't want to rob all the bushes that are growing here. So I only took, like, I don't know, a handful of flowers, and I thought about, okay, that's too less for like syrup, but maybe you can, yeah, add it to a baked good. And that's when I thought about elderflower bread. Like banana bread, but without the bananas, and an elderflower instead. I don't know, you may have also seen like lemon bread, what have you seen lately? Strawberry bread. I think you can turn almost anything into a sweet bread. And that's when I took a look at my banana bread recipe, which you can find on the blog. It's the Valentine's special with a chocolate cake heart inside. And I also looked at my pumpkin streusel cake, which I posted last year during autumn. And I kind of looked at both, like what I used for each recipe, and then I kind of mixed it together and I added the elderflower, and yeah, I wrote it all down. I always have pen and paper with me at any time because you never know when a creative idea sparks. And yeah, so today I want to do this with you guys. So first up, before we're going to start, we're going to preheat our oven to 170 degrees Celsius. I don't know, I think this is like 315 degrees Fahrenheit. I will look it up and then put it below. So 170, all right. And while this heats up, we're going to mix the ingredients. So I have my KitchenAid here, which is, oh my gosh, my favorite. It was a present by my parents for last year's Christmas, and I have used it so much since. So we're going to use that, and I have two bowls, so a small and a big one, and I will remove the small one because we don't need it. We're going to use the big one because I have to make a big piece because my boyfriend just loves this kind of bread. Alright, and I'm going to use this, I don't know, what is it called? And mostly with these gadgets, I always guess like what is the best one to use for each recipe or dough I'm making. Yeah, if you know like more than me, I know you can look it up which one to use, like which attachment to use for what dough, but I don't know, I'm always too lazy to look it up. Anyways, so we're going to start with the dry ingredients, and I already pulsed oat flour. Where I live, you can't really buy oat flour in the store. So what I use is I buy oats, rolled oats, and mostly whole wheat oats. And then I use my NutriBullet and I just pulse them, and they get really finely. And it's amazing. I always use them for my Sunday pancakes, which you've probably seen on my Insta story. And yeah, I use 2 cups of gluten-free oats, and we're going to add them here. Alright, I should maybe remove this because I think it's easier to put the ingredients inside. Alright, and then next we are going to try this banana flour. Okay, this is made from green cooking bananas, and they say that it actually tastes like nothing. We are going to use 1.5 cups of this, or maybe only 1. Yeah, because it says here that you should use 30% of the recipe. You can use banana flour for like baking goods, like cookies, brownies, etc. So I'm gonna use 1 cup of this. And yeah, I'm really excited how this is going to turn out. Let's see. 1 cup. So, it smells like regular flour actually. Oops. Uh-oh. Alright, this should be enough. So we're adding this as well. Okay, and then next we're going to use 1/2 cup natural coconut yogurt. I'm a big fan of coconut yogurt. I used to eat only soy yogurt, but then I don't know, I kind of overfed myself, I guess. And then I also read soy products are not as healthy for you as their ones were claimed to be. I still drink soy milk because I just love the taste so much, and I think it's one of the best milks to use in your coffee. But seriously, for breakfast and for all my baked goods, my pancakes, and also these bread recipes, I always use coconut yogurt because it gets this really nice moist taste and you don't taste coconut at all. So we're going to add 1/2 cup of coconut yogurt. Natural, try to use natural coconut yogurt, no sweetener added, nothing at all. And let's see. Oh yeah, this one is such a useful helper. I don't know what's called, but it is so amazing because you get out all the, yeah, everything. You see? Really easy. And then, we're adding 1 package of baking powder so that it gets really fluffy. Add this. And then 1/2 cup maple syrup. You can also use agave syrup or maybe honey. I think they're all the same. I just love maple syrup a lot. And it's also, when you want to make it vegan, then maple syrup is definitely your choice. I recently also read about, what was it? Apple juice sweetener or something like that. So apparently it is a combination of agave syrup and apple juice or some kind of apple sweetener. I don't know, I've never tried it. I'm not the biggest fan of agave syrup. I don't know why. It's just something I never really liked. But I think I'm still going to try out this new apple sweetener. Okay, and then 1/3 cup of applesauce. I also love to use applesauce instead of oil or butter. It's also like a really cool natural sweetener. Even if you don't want to use any additional sweeteners like maple syrup, then make sure you use more applesauce. So you get this natural sweetness. You know, fruits are always the best, and In the beginning, I'm certain that you have to get used to baked goods being not as sweet, especially if you've been eating like all the processed baked goods at your bakery or at your grocery store. Then yes, it is an adaptation, but once you adapt your taste buds, like you will realize how sweet all the store-bought stuff actually is. I remember I used to drink a white coffee mocha at Starbucks and I loved it. And then I remember my dad tried it once and he was like, wow, that is so crazy sweet. And I really didn't know what he was talking about. And then when I started my fitness journey, I kind of cut down on all things sugary that are not really necessary, including my coffee. And I switched to a regular coffee latte and just sweeten it with a little brown sugar or honey. And in the beginning, I really had to get used to it. Like, I really was missing the sweetness, but I stuck to it. And now, I think, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, I tried the white coffee mocha again. Oh my gosh, it was so sweet, like the syrup. I was like, that is so disgusting. So it's crazy. You can get used to everything. Your body is so adaptable, so you can actually teach it anything. It's crazy. All right, back to our baking. Next, we're going to use 2/3 cups egg whites. So you can also use 1 or 2 eggs. I just love to add egg whites. Not that eggs are bad per se. I love to eat eggs. I make scrambled eggs or fried eggs or cooked eggs, like whatever. I love all kinds of eggs. But I kind of have this notion in my head that, you know, egg white is poor protein, so it's actually better for your body because it feeds your muscles and it gives your muscles energy. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a head thing, actually. Okay, what did I say? 2/3. 1, 2. And next, 1/2 cup of coconut milk. So yeah, not sponsored or anything, but this is seriously the best coconut milk you will find. I don't know about America, but at least here in Europe, it is so amazing. It is by this company that also makes granola. The granolas are alright, for me a little bit too much sugar added, but they try to do it as organic and as healthy as possible, which is amazing. But this coconut milk, first of all, it's only water, coconut milk and sea salt, and it's all organic. And then the consistency is so amazing. Like, it's really creamy. It's like some coconut milks you buy, they're so watery and it's not really a milk anymore. But this one, it's a little bit expensive, but it's so good, let me tell you. All right, so 1/2 cup coconut milk. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt, so a dash of salt. Should be enough. And vanilla paste. Or no, this is actually real bourbon vanilla, which I just love. I don't know, I also recently started adding it to my pancakes and it is so good. And this is really only, yeah, it's natural aroma, so it's really, really the good stuff. I always try to stay away from the stuff that has some kind of added stuff you can't really pronounce. If you see an E in front of it and then some kind of weird number, you know it's probably not something you should eat. So I always try to stick to like natural ingredients. So we're going to add this. And then we are going to add our star of the day, which are the elderflower blooms. So I picked these up yesterday and I read somewhere on some blog that you're supposed to pick them in the afternoon, like late afternoon on a sunny day. So yesterday it was not really sunny, but it was warm and the sun came out occasionally, and I picked them up yesterday night on our after dinner walk. So it might be a little bit hard to actually get the flowers off the stems. So this is really something, yeah, you have to put a little bit more work in. Just try to grab the flowers and put them inside. I think I won't use the entire bowl I have here. I just love elderflower. I think I will do some syrup because I want to do an elderflower lemonade. It's so weird, like this year because of Corona, I feel like I'm much more aware of my environment. Before that, I never really paid attention of what is actually kind of growing around here. I was so oblivious or blind, or maybe I kind of shut my eyes on purpose. I don't really know. So this is actually the first year I realized we have so many elderflower bushes growing here. That's actually the positive side of Corona. You are much more aware of your environment because, you know, you're stripped of everything else. You can't go travel. You couldn't really go outside. You could, I mean, not somewhere like outside in nature, but not really out to eat or to a bar or whatever. And so you were kind of forced to explore your local neighborhood. And since I spend a lot of time outside, you know, running and walking and bicycle, yeah, I realized actually what is blooming here. It's crazy. All right. And I just had the idea to also add some cacao powder. So, maybe just a little bit. There's not much in there. Yeah, should do it for now. All right, let's add this. And I'm also gonna add this so the flour is not flying around everywhere. Let's start. So I always start on the second level and then let it, you know, mix really well before I go a little bit up higher for like the last ingredients to also make it into the dough. Yeah, it looks good. This already looks really, really good. Yeah, this looks really good. Let's see how this tastes. Actually really good. Doesn't taste like banana at all, but really? Very, very yummy. Yep, I think this is a good one. This is definitely something I can share with you guys. Let's remove all the dough. This is the only downturn that also all the dough always gets caught up in here. And it may also happen that some of the flowers or some of the stems, because the stems are so narrow that they get caught in here or kind of detangled, but that's not bad because you don't want to have the stems in your dough, so they can, you know, stay here, but you still have the flavor of the elderflower, and that's more than enough. You don't need the entire flour in your dough. So this can actually stay. And then I bought this, yeah, really, really nice form. And I know most of you love probably the silicone forms more, but I prefer this. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of silicone at all. I know it's easier to get everything outside. But this is actually prepared. It has a special surface inside. It's really, really easy to get your dough out of here. But what you can do is maybe put some coconut oil inside, and I think that's what I'm gonna do now, so that it gets out even easier. I'm gonna get some coconut oil and just put it inside. Yeah, my coconut oil is a little bit hard or a little bit solid because it's not really warm, even though we have June, but yeah. Weather here is a little bit crazy. And now we can add the dough. Let's see. Today I'm so messy. Usually I'm a Virgo, so I'm actually a clean freak, but I don't know what's going on. All right, and now we're done, and this goes into the oven for like 50-55 minutes. I'll put it at 55 and I will see you in an hour for the taste test. Alright, so it just started peeping here in my oven and it already smells so delicious, so I can't wait to take it out. It looks really, really good, so let's see. It looks like real bread, to be honest. Cool. I mean, look at this. Really cool. Wow. Alright, let's turn on the oven. And yeah, I'm gonna let this cool a little bit and we'll definitely let you know how it tastes. So if you wanna try this recipe, then I will link it down below on my blog. And thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I hope you had fun enjoying this little baking show, trying out elderflower bread with me. And next, I'm gonna see you on the mat again. Bye!